Maybe we look differently, but we all have similar mechanical properties. But who cares? We are made from aesthetic filaments. Welcome to another BambuLab filament testing video, and this time they are PLA wood filaments. Currently it is available in 6 colors or wood types because it contains real wood powder and it feels like a real wood. It will have a nice matte finish. These are white oak, classic birch, ochre yellow, clay brown, black walnut and rosewood. And only between these two I'm not sure which is darker because these are different type of the colors, but I will check the printed objects too. I got these spools for free, but I'm not paid anything about this, and you can decide is it sponsored video or not. And I don't really understand why it's important to some commenters, because I would create completely same video in both cases. It is AMS compatible and also it works perfectly with regular PLA. The drying is important because this wood powder is hygroscopic, and I try to print out to the box, but if I notice some stringing I will give it some drying. According to website, 55 degrees Celsius, 8 hours. Be careful, don't go too high with the temperature because this is still regular PLA as a base material. About the nozzle, stainless steel or hardened steel nozzle is recommended, and 0.4 mm or bigger, so don't use 0.2. And usually these wood powders are abrasive, but according to them, stainless steel nozzle can be used and it can be printed on stock A1 or B1S. We don't have to do these kind of upgrades. The nozzle temperature, according to the website, between 190 and 240 degrees Celsius. On the box I can see the max is 230 degrees Celsius, but I will use the default settings in Bambu Studio. Now about the bed temperature, here I'm a little bit confused because it says between 35 and 45 degrees Celsius with the glue on it. So I'm not sure why I cannot go higher, let's say 65 degrees Celsius on textured PI sheet, and in that case usually I don't have to use the glue with the regular PLA. In the meantime, I got the answer from the Bambu Lab. The reason for this is that it may stick too good to the print surface, similar like a silk PLA. Now I have experience with the silk PLA and I know that their 50-55 degrees Celsius on textured PI sheet works fine and I don't have to use the glue stick. So this will be my print settings. I couldn't see this information on their website, but I know that the color may slightly vary depending on the print temperature, but as I mentioned I'll try to use the default temperature in Bambu Studio. I think it will be 220 degrees Celsius, but I will see soon. Usually with hygroscopic filaments they use some aluminum foil. This is regular one, vacuum packaging with some desiccant inside. A maximal drying temperature for this spool is 70 degrees Celsius. But be careful because this is regular PLA, the base material, and you shouldn't go above 55, max 60 degrees Celsius according to the website. Now I'm not sure how important is it, but I think it would be good to have the exact color information on this sticker, because imagine if you take out from the box this spool and you want to reorder after 2 or 3 months and you forget which exactly color was this, maybe it would be very useful information. For me, I will just keep it in the box until I do the printings and I will mark the test objects. And what will I test? Well, earlier with this kind of filaments I did the hook and the layer adhesion test, but then I got several comments that why I am doing mechanical testing with this kind of aesthetic filament types. So I drop out the hook test from my testing, and for the layer adhesion I'm curious about it myself, so I will do it and I will include it in this video, if nothing else only for myself. And also I want to see what will be the layer adhesion in combination with some regular PLA materials. And after this I'll print some test objects, I don't know, probably a Groot only. I'm not sure how it looks like in all these different colors, but basically this color scheme difference we have with the humans too. And also I noticed with this wood filament, this is different type, but it is much easier to paint it with the marker. We don't have that flowing between the layers, and this was done by my 6-year-old daughter, and I want to see if it is really easier for the painting with the marker compared to the regular PLA. Let's move to printing, and I'm starting with the white oak. Interesting rough surface of the filament, and it is not so brittle like some carbon fibers, for example. This is the first layer. I'm printing everything on BambuLab A1. The start is good. This is end of that printing, and when the bed cools down, it is relatively easy with the flexing to remove the objects. I tested with some other objects too. This is the Groot for comparison of organic surface. These are supports. This is the second material from this test, the classic birch, and I checked if the bed is hot, it is extremely hard to remove the objects, and somehow the optimum for me was around 50-55 degrees Celsius. In that case, with some flexing, I can remove it from the texture PI sheet. I don't have to use the glue. Side by side two materials, and I think the rosewood is darker in this case, and this material I want to compare with just regular brown PLA. I don't have the matte version of this. And also I want to see the layer adhesion in combination with some other material, for example in this case with the tough PLA. And it's time for the layer adhesion test. The smallest cross-section area is 4 by 4 millimeters, and this is the average value from 2. But on the left side you can very easily compare the data between the materials, but there is no big difference between them. You will see the big average is 25.5 kilograms for all materials. And now the two material version with the tough PLA. Very similar to the average values, and it is good to see that it can be combined with the other regular PLA materials. And now let's take a closer look of printed objects. D12 dies with a lot of flat surfaces, and I can see that sometimes those layer lines are not really hidden. These are 3 lightest materials and 3 darkest materials, and all 6 side by side. 2 lightest materials, 2 in the middle, and 2 darkest. And now let's see the Groot, 3 lightest materials and 3 darkest. And one by one. And this is the rosewood on the left side compared to the regular PLA, but unfortunately I don't have the matte brown version. I can already see my next project from these filaments, and that will be a chess set. Now I'm curious who will be the first company who will create more realistic wood filaments, because for me wood looks something like this. It has 2 colors in it. I mean, these are nice colors and they smell nicely during the printing, but only during the printing. Now I cannot feel the smell anymore. They have a nice matte surface, but having this in the 2 colors, it will be really nice and more realistic, I think. I mean, they have already these dual color filaments, or they have this pigment coloring filaments like with the marble PLA, and combining these two, maybe we can have some more realistic wood filaments too. I'm curious, write me down in the comment section where can you see possible applications from these filaments. Thank you for watching and happy printing!